our natural nature as human beings is to trust somebody or to trust something. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wing Pillow Talk. It's Viv here. Today we'll be talking about our trust in nature. As human beings, we all trust something or somebody. When you take your car to the mechanic, you trust that he's going to do a good job on your car and your car will be roadworthy. When you fly, when you're taking a flight to another country, you trust that the pilot is going to take you to your country safely. When you give an architect your house to be built, the expectation is he's going to do a good job. And so you'll not sleep in the house and the whole house drops on you. When you go to the hospitals, when you're not feeling well, you take yourself to the hospital. You trust that the doctors are going to diagnose what is wrong and put systems in place to make you well. So you see, we're all always trusting something. Why can't we just trust life? There's a powerful word, believe in me. Life is life, issues are issues. Issues will go away, but your life, you have total control of what happens to you in life. How you relate to others and how you allow others to influence or control you. I'm going to share my story with you. I read somewhere, I'm sure most of us know this story, but I'm going to just share it anyway. There was this king who had a confidant. He took everywhere he went to. And apparently one day, the guy knew everything and the guy saw life in a positive light. No matter how bad things looked, he always looked at it in the positive atmosphere, and the positive, brought something positive out of it. And so one day the king slept and got up and he fell and he broke his hand. And of course the king screamed and everybody came running to see what's happened to the king in the palace. And so he asked for his confidants to show up. So they called him and he came there. He says, "Yes, my lord, what can I do?" He says, "Look, I've broken my hand." And the guy said, "That is good." And he said, "What? What do you mean that is good?" He just told the guards, take him, throw him in the dungeon. So the guards took him, threw him in the dungeon, he locked him up. The confidants went there, stayed there. And after a couple of days in bed, the king started feeling better. So he thought, okay, I'm going to take my horse. I'm going to feel strong. I'm going to ride this day. So he just took one of his horses, his favorite horse, apparently, and just rode the horse to a far, almost to the end of his kingdom. And at that point, he didn't see a tree that was right in front of him because his attention was taken away by one of the animals he saw there. And so he fell. And as he fell, he was being captured by the natives around there who, ate people. So they saw him and the king was a little bit plump. So they thought, "Oh, we've got something beautiful dish today." So they carried him and he's all worried. And he saw them and he knew, the way they looked, he just knew that I'm lunch today. And so as he was going and they were celebrating that they've caught some big animal to be shared in the village and everybody ate. And since it was a sacrifice, it needed to be perfect. So as they were going, his shirt got torn on one of the spears that one of them were carrying. And so they saw the big patch that was on his hand. So they all stopped. Now he was not perfect for offering anymore. So the boy felt bad. They took him back to where his horse was, put him there and asked him to go. So he wasn't even sure what was going on. So he rode his horse down and got home, panicking and everything. And he was grateful he was alive. And then when he remembered his confidence. He said, "Oh no, I need to go and take him." So he went there, he took him out, he said, "Sorry for putting you in this dungeon and everything." And then he told him the story. And I finished telling that story. He finished, and the man said, "That was good." He said, "What do you mean it was good?" He said, "King, you know I go with you everywhere. So the two of us would have been caught. And since they could not sacrifice you, they could have sacrificed me. So I am glad I was in the dungeon for this week that you've been out." And when I read that story, it blessed me. Because, you know, sometimes when the manual of life said everything happens together in our life for good, and we never seem to see it when it's happening at that time, because we refuse to see the whole content of life as a whole. But we take the issue that we're going through, or somebody has done, or life has thrown at you. It becomes your world at that party. And so you don't see the whole life, that situation, that issue is there to correct you. It's there to remove you from an issue, from a problem that you may face down the line. When we start to see life like that, you realize that even every untrustworthiness that happens along the way, you're able to look at it differently. You try to bring a positive, because if you believe that everything in your life happens together for your good, then there's really no negative. So even you having an accident, there is a positivity in that accident. That is, if you focus on the positiveness of that accident and not the negativeness. You see, just like the king did, because the servant said, because the confidant said, this accident has happened for your good. He never saw, he was in pain, and so he could not see any good in that pain. But down the line, because of the accident, he didn't end up as being launched for somebody. Had it been he saw that when the incident happened, he wouldn't have put the confidant in prison or in a dungeon. And so maybe the confidant would have ended up as launch for somebody else. But because he did not go, he was saved and the king was saved. So what situations are we going through in life that you think, you know what, life is finished for me, or mine is ended because something has happened to me, because somebody has betrayed my trust, because somebody has derailed me in an issue that I was supposed to do, and by so doing I don't trust anymore. I don't want to walk in trust anymore. You know, when I read the Manual of Life, and it told me, he said, well, the heart of man is desperately wicked and cunning. Who can understand it? You know how, even how spiritual we are. Every day we transform that heart, because our starting point in life is a heart which is desperately wicked and cunning. So before you judge somebody, before you get all putting people on pedestals, think carefully before you even make conclusions about somebody's life. Think about yours. Think about where you started and where you're going. Just maybe, that person is not where you are in your understanding, in your knowledge of life. Let us help one another to grow in understanding. Let us help one another to fulfill our destinies in life. You know, life is not a sprint, but rather it's a marathon. If we work together we will go far. So join us as we dig deep to become the better people for you, for me, and for the next generation. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. stay with us, check our website, follow us on social media, and do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.